March 15, 1965. Dearest Suzie, how are you and the boys getting along? I hope you're all right. Things are about the same for me. We had a pretty quiet weekend. I got a birthday card and a letter from Laverne yesterday. She said she finally had all her teeth pulled. I was glad to hear it. I imagine she feels a lot better now. I also got a birthday card from your mother yesterday. Today I got one from Colonel Kretlov, that insurance man from Benning. I have been injured. Yesterday we were flying along one of those canals when all of a sudden the VC opened up with their guns and shot us down. In the process of landing the helicopter, I sprained my right foot. Doesn't that sound exciting? A real good story, huh? Only, it is a lie. What really happened was this. Yesterday morning, I walked out of my hooch, and Charlie was on the roof, and he had his rope all tangled up in the power lines. So I was going to climb up and untangle him. I fell and landed on my ankle and sprained it. It's not too bad, though. I was off flying status yesterday, but I am back on today. Well, I hate to send you a one-page letter, but as I said, we had a quiet weekend. I love you all and miss you. I was glad to hear Billy is doing well in school, but I know he is capable. All my love, Bill. At first glance, today's letter seems pretty uneventful. Poppy talks about getting birthday cards, catching up with family, and even cracks a joke about a relative finally getting their teeth pulled. But then he casually drops a bombshell that he has been injured. For a split second, you can imagine the panic Meemaw might have felt reading those words. But then Poppy launches into an exaggerated war story, making it sound like he was shot down in combat, like he was a hero and his injury was gained valiantly, fighting the enemy and sacrificing his body like all the other people he had helped save before, in a way which made sense with all the danger he had been put up to in this point. Before quickly admitting, only it is a lie. The real story? He sprained his ankle trying to help his pet monkey untangle a rope from the power lines. This letter is a great example of Bill's storytelling style and his ability to use humor, even when delivering potentially alarming news. He knew that Suzie was worrying about him every day, and instead of feeding into that anxiety, he found a way to make her smile. Plus, it is a way of turning an embarrassing injury into something he can laugh about. Of course, he would feel somewhat silly, getting hurt in such a trivial and accidental way when he has friends who are getting hurt much worse in more justified ways. Poppy's story also gives us a small but telling glimpse into life at base. He doesn't dwell on combat operations or dangers in this letter, like he does so many other times before, but instead he focuses on small personal moments, letters from home, a minor injury, and even Charlie getting into trouble. This is one of the things I find so fascinating about his letters in this project. Even in the middle of a war zone, it is the preposterous, nonsensical things which we are drawn to. They are the things worth sharing. Combat operations become commonplace, and twisting your ankle because you climbed up on a roof becomes noteworthy. There's also something to be said about the way soldiers like Poppy relayed information home. Many men in Vietnam downplayed their injuries, hardships, or dangers to avoid worrying their loved ones. Bill's sprained ankle might have been painful, but rather than focusing on that, he spins it into a lighthearted story. He may even have enjoyed the time off from the new and stressful expectations of combat operations, allowing himself a day to relax with his injury. Who knows? The photo I chose for today depicts Charlie and Doll sitting on the grass, eating tomatoes and lettuce. I assume they're eating table scraps. Behind them is a soldier's boot, clearly belonging to someone sitting on the ground with them, enjoying their company. Also, in addition to it being Poppy's birthday around this time, I'd like to wish a very quick happy birthday to my brother. He isn't listening because he's traveling, but I hope he enjoys this episode when he does. As always, beware the Ides of March. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Poppy wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.